Hello everybody, my name is Ronja Engarde, and welcome back for another Pokemon Platinum. In the last part, we got done all the side stuff we were able to do now that we have, Surf. And in this episode, hopefully, we're finally going to be able to do some progress. Cause yeah, we got kind of a message from, was it Lydia? Jesus, where did I get that name from? From Cynthia, that we should head to Canalave City to find out, all the mumbo jumbo about the book. The books and the people and the stuff and the things and all that. Gosh, it's a little loud. Excuse me for a sec. Sorry about that. I guess I wasn't really used to how loud the games are in the battles. I thought I had set the volume to a good level, but I don't know. That's just one thing that I don't account for, is the fact that the game gets so loud in battles. Oh well. Actually, one thing that now that I saw the Machoke there, is anybody else surprised by the fact that Machoke has lower defense than special defense? Well, I know that Machamp at least has more special defense than physical defense, which really surprises me. It's like, you would think that a Machamp would have better, defense than special defense, just because of, well, obvious reasons. None of these berries are interesting to me, because Frost person I don't use since, let me just show you. Yeah, we have plenty of berries, and a lot of these too, because I took the liberty of talking to the lady that gives you the super effective berries. And these two are, I think that's Pineapple and Figgy. Actually, yeah, that is Figgy. Which are just used for, like, poffins and stuff, which totally uninteresting to us. We cannot capture something on this route because we have already captured Carambola, the Magikarp, way back in episode 2 or whatever. So, no encounters for us. Actually, that is one thing that I, up until very recently, did, was capture the Magikarp on this route. But then, it kind of hit me, the fact that, when do I ever actually use that Magikarp? Because, like, I get the Magikarp and then I just throw it into the box. I don't think there's ever been a time where I actually grinded it up to level 20 and used it as a Gyarados. Which, granted, I should probably try to do, one of these times. But, what I've started doing now in Platinum runs, actually, I say in Platinum runs, but I've only started one other Platinum run after this, because I was playing with a good friend of mine who wanted to do a Platinum run, and, I thought, I do have this Let's Play file that I'm playing, but, whatever, I'll have 2 consecutive Pokemon Platinum runs going, why not? And in that run, I decided, well, that's when I thought about the fact that I never used that Magikarp anyway, so there's no real point, because there's never a time where, like, you encounter a Magikarp somewhere where you would have rather had something else. I was supposed to explain a little bit, because I feel like that wasn't a very good explanation. Since I use Species Clause, if I've already caught something in a family of Pokemon, then I don't have to capture it in another route. So, for example, if I capture a Bidoof early, I don't really mind doing that, since that means that I won't have to capture a Bidoof ever again if I don't want to. But there's never a time where, like, oh, I should have captured that Magikarp, because then it would have meant that I didn't have to capture it, at a later date. this rival battle is a big pain in the patoot. Oh lord, this one in particular, I talked about the one that is in front of the Pastoria gym being kind of problematic. This one is even worse, because as you can see, he leads with a fucking Staraptor. First of all, I mean, jeez. Decided, Surf is probably going to do more damage than Ice Punch because of Intimidate. Oh, you son of a bitch. I think it's when you talk to him and battle him after you defeated Fantina, he talks about, oh, the best strategy ever is just don't get hit. And that's when he, really starts using Double Team on his Pokemon, which is such bullshit. Why would you ever? Well, I mean, I actually don't think there are too many Pokemon on his team that uses freaking Double Team except for Staraptor and Staravia. And I feel like it's kind of excused since, it does actually get it through level up. Like, the Staravia family gets Double Team at like somewhere in the level 10s-ish. I think maybe level 13, possibly. So it's like, okay, well it does actually have it in its level up move pool, so it's like a little excused. But still kind of a douche move. Okay. Okay, this is a risk. But close combat does have 100 accuracy. I am wearing the fist plate, and it's weak to it. And it has not the best defense in the world. Let's see. I feel like this, even though it is a gamble, it is not the biggest gamble I could ever do. Yeah, okay, well, okay, it was a gamble, but the odds were pretty much in my favor, so I think the only thing that could have made that into a losing gamble would be if we had absolutely terrible attack IVs, which I think we actually have pretty good ones, so that's something I really had to worry too much about. So come on, Spice Meme. Oh no. Didn't even do 10 damage. Holy shit. Hot diggity. Gosh, I feel kind of weird because this is honestly, I actually don't remember when the last time I recorded was. I think it was at least over a week ago, if not more. Because I just I just recorded like a huge batch, and then that was really it. That was really all I needed. Plus, I on the last weekend, on I believe it was Friday and Saturday, I actually uploaded the two old challenge run videos, which I'm actually very happy that I did, because of all the things I did on my old channel, well, first of all, those two videos were one of the only ones I could really use, because in all of the other ones I'm using my old username, so not like I could actually use it here. But other than that, I wouldn't say I'm not proud at all of my old videos. Like, I'm not, like, ashamed of them, which is why, I haven't actually deleted any of them. They're still up there. A lot of them are unlisted, but, like, I do the thing where I have part 1 of the playlist as a public, and then, I have the actual playlist public as well, so, if somebody wanted to watch, for example, I have a Yoshi's Island Let's Play. Actually, I'm not sure if I've unlisted those videos. But if I have, you could, see the first episode and be like, oh, I want to watch all the videos, and then, the episode will link to the playlist, and then, you know, you could watch all the unlisted videos through the playlist without much trouble. U-turn. It would actually be very good on Workbench. It is very tempting, because U-turn is, in general, when you're playing on set battle style, it is such a good move. Rock Tomb. It's good on flying, but I wouldn't keep Workbench out against flying types. Psychic types, again, wouldn't. No, that's U-turn, you silly Willy. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for it, because we're gonna delete Rock Tomb later for Rock Slide anyway, so might as well just do it right now and see if U-turn is gonna come in handy. Which it might, because it definitely helps having a move that you can, you know, jump out of the battle onto another one. Speaking of Tentacool, by the way, while I was editing the, not the last video, but the video before that one, yeah, I like fully, because I was so like on autopilot, just talking and not paying attention to the game, I like fully encountered a Tentacool and just, you know, straight up skipped it, like ran away from it. God. And I still stick to the fact that, you know, that doesn't, well, that doesn't count as like that it does count as an encounter, because just because I was being an idiot doesn't mean I'm not accountable for my actions. Plus, I mean, I would have maybe been a little bit on the fence if we were really lacking in the Pokemon department. You know, if we didn't have like many Pokemon at all, I would have been maybe like, oh, possibly I'm gonna bend the rules a little, but no, girl, we have so many goddamn Pokemon. Let's check you out. Naughty. Actually, that's not the worst, considering that like Tentacruel doesn't exactly have the worst attack in the world. Like, actually pop up on screen right now, how much attack does it have compared to its special attack? Because I think Tentacruel has something like 100 special attack, or, you know, something around there, and maybe something like 80 attack. So yeah, I mean, that is not terrible, actually. Well, comparatively, 80 is not that much worse than 100, and I believe it is something around there. You won't really see any physically attacking Tentacruels out there, because there's really not any physical moves that it learns that, you know, are radically better than its special attacks. Like, you know, it gets, I think it might get Waterfall and it gets Poison Jab, but, you know, why would you use those when you can use Surf and Sludge Bomb on its better special attacking stat? Gosh, now I just totally ran out of things. Oops. Yeah, now we have actually gotten here to Iron Island, and I actually do want to take care of this place, even though this place is actually, I believe at the very least it is optional. You have to get here because, as you might have seen there, Riley gave us the TM04, which is strength, which, you know, you do actually need to complete the game, but don't think you really have to do whatever is in here, but it is super duper helpful who do the things in here, because, you know, you get plenty of items, and you get, you know, most importantly, you get a lot of experience points, which, you know, could really help. Not that we really need it, because, I mean, usually, what I've been used to doing is when I get to Iron Island, I grind to level 40. But I mean, girl, we're almost there with our entire party. Like, 2 of them are already 40, and then the rest are either 39, in this case with Olivia, or I think Rox Raquel is now the only one that doesn't have, that isn't level 39 or 40. Oh, you got a float yourself. Well, how do you like crunch? Crunch and munch. Gosh. Being very thin. No agility. Not that flows really... That's a thing that I don't... Well, okay. I do get it from, like, a flavor standpoint. Because, like, obviously a fast Pokemon, it makes sense that it learns agility from like, a flavor standpoint. But, I mean... For example, Floatzel has, like, what, 115 speed? There's, like, nothing that outspeeds it. Like, even certain Choice Scarfers aren't that fast. Well, okay. Now, again, talking about things I don't fully know. But 115, definitely, a speed tier that is mostly unoccupied. Oh, well, Smoothie actually was 38 too. Oops. So why would that need agility? And there's also the thing, the kind of funny example with Love Disc, where the only half-decent stat Love Disc has is speed. And I believe it actually has something weird like 97 base speed, which, you know, would not be terrible. Well, it's still not the best, but it's, like, surprisingly okay, especially compared to its other stats, which are straight up garbage. But then, you know, it gets, you know, its ability is Swift Swim, and it gets agility. It's like, hooray, now I can finally, you know, outspeed my opponents and do nothing. Hooray! Oh, Love Disc, you are useless. Yeah, let's go for Earthquake, why not? Because considering that a lot of the in-game trainers, I think I've talked about this already, but this is actually something I learned by trying out ROM hacking. Again, just putting it out there that I was never any good. I just, you know, tinkered with some ROM hacking tools and, you know, didn't do much else. So, don't you know, hope for like a Ronja Engarde Pokemon ROM hack or anything like that, because, girl, there is none. But that I learned that if you just put in a Pokemon, like say in that example it's a level 37 Raichu, if you just put that in and don't put in like a custom moveset, then it will just use the 4 moves, the latest moves it would have learned at level 37. But in Raichu's case, it doesn't actually have any like level of moves. It only has like the first 4 moves, because since it's a Stone evolution, it only has, you know, the quote-unquote level 1 moves that you can learn via heart scale if you so are inclined. And I believe those 4 moves in most generations are like Thunderbolt, Tail Whip, Quick Attack, and then one other move. Growl. Actually, no, I don't think it's Quick Attack. I think it is Thunderbolt, Tail Whip, Growl, and Thunder Wave. Or, something along those lines. So as long as you know that the opposing trainer is not like a special trainer that uses custom movesets, because there are some of them. For example, here in Platinum, we had there was one quite recently too that had like a move that it shouldn't have had just through level up, but kind of forgetting. But as long as you know that it's not one of those that has a custom moveset, you can pretty much just go on Cerebi or something and just look up its level up move pool and see that, okay, the Steelix here, for example, is level 37. It's probably going to have, the last learned moves it would have had if it was a wild level 37 Steelix. Yeah, let's switch out. I'm pretty sure, I'm like 90% sure it doesn't have a ground move, so like I think it has Iron Tail and Sandstorm. I think it might have Dragon Breath, but I don't think Steelix has any ground moves in its level up move pool at all in this generation. I think in the later generations it gets like Dig and maybe Earthquake later, but that's actually a thing. Like, the farther you go back in the generations, the shittier the move pools are. Like here in Generation 4, it's kind of starting to get a little better. Like, there are not many Pokemon that have, like, just straight up unusable level up move pools. But there are still some where you can tell that, not much has changed since Generation 1, pretty much. Like, I think Sandshrew and Sandslash are good examples of that. Because it took them, I think, to not even Generation 5, but halfway into Generation 5 with Pokemon Black 2 and White 2. Because I think then, finally, they gained a ground move in the form of Magnitude. Like, they didn't even get Earthquake or Dig. Like, what the hell? Why, like, I don't understand the reasoning for not giving Pokemon, same type attack bonus moves. Like, not even one. Like, come on. Like, I know that TMs exist. Like, it's not for, quote-unquote competitive or, just, battling. But it's for, the flavor, pretty much. That, why wouldn't a ground type learn a ground type move? Like, that just does not make sense. Please, why? Also, I kind of have to tell myself every time I use Jump Kick that it's okay. It has perfect accuracy because of the wide lens we have. Shit. Oh, I better hope my defense is okay. Okay. Don't want to lose anybody to self-destruct. That would be really shitty. And as I explained before, I think I did at the very least, I seem to remember that I talked about it, is that self-destruct actually has double the amount of power that it, quote-unquote advertises. Because it's, advertising that it has 200 power, when in reality, up until Generation 5, it was actually the double bit of that, because self-destruct and explosion actually halves the opponent's defense when calculating damage. So in reality, it's more like a 400 power move, and explosion is like a 500 power move, which, if you don't resist that, you are pretty much just dead. Like, straight up dead. Like, why would you do that? That is just so scary. But I mean, that is pretty much the reason why, especially in Generation 4, I don't think it was that prevalent in the earlier generations. But I know especially in Generation 4, the explosion lead was so common and competitive. Like, pretty much every Pokemon that had explosion had, like, an explosion lead set. Especially if it learned both Stealth Rock and Explosion. Girl. Like, a fast Pokemon with Stealth Rock and Explosion, like, I think, for example, Azelf was one of them, because it has, like, 115 or 110 speed, and learns both Stealth Rock and Explosion. Girl, it was just begging to be an Explosion lead. And you have, like, so many others, like, I think Metagross was one of them, and then, you know, Pokemon in lower tiers also had Explosion lead sets. Like, it was pretty crazy. And I still to this day remember when the internet found out that I can still remember clearly the words explosion nerf flying around everywhere. Well, not the word, but the phrase explosion nerf. Because it was just that big of a deal that, you know, explosion was 500 power. That was the reason why when Munchlax got a self-destruct through the Pokewalker in Heart Gold Soul Silver, that was a huge deal. That was like a straight-up game changer, because imagine a Snorlax using self-destruct, like not even explosion, just self-destruct, which is, you know, a 400 power move that it gets, you know, same type attack bonus from, because pretty much nobody gets explosion or self-destruct and also gets same type attack bonus. I think the only one now is Licky Licky and Licky Tongue. I think they can get explosion through a TM, or, well, is explosion still a TM? I feel like that might be one of the ones that got removed, but at least it got it, you know, from earlier generations. And gaining same type attack bonus from explosion, pretty significant. But then again, the explosion nerf happened, and then pretty much no one used explosion anymore, because why would you? Like, there was really no reason to use explosion, because 250 power, especially, you know, not a same type attack bonus, girl, there was really no point. Like, put this into perspective. Let's say a fire type. I don't remember if there are any particular fire types that used explosion, but let's just take a fire type, because I just thought about, you know, Fire Blast. Because Fire Blast, well, used to be at the very least, we're still going in Generation 5 here, was a 120 power move. With same type attack bonus, that is 180, which is, you know, 70 less power than explosion, but, you know, you don't die. So you can kind of see, like, if it was Generation 4, it would have been like a 500 power and 180, that is 320 more power. Yeah, that's more than doubling what a Fire Blast would do, even with same type attack bonus. So you can probably tell why it was such a big deal, but isn't anymore. Wow. Didn't really expect to go on a whole, you know, the whole history behind self-destruct and explosion, but I just love that kind of stuff where, you know, I know for myself especially, I just, you know, sometimes I just go on, you know, deep dives through, like, Bulbapedia. Like, I find, you know, some kind of trivia about, like, a move, or, you know, something that has changed between generations, and it's like, ooh, now I need to learn this, because that's pretty fascinating to know. I mean, I don't learn it simply because I want to, be able to tell people that I know it. I mean, it's a nice bonus, but it's not, specifically why I go for knowledge. I just generally like knowing things. I relate a lot to the Adventure Time quote of, I have a, what is it? Ah, shit. No, I don't remember. But I have approximate knowledge of many things. That is a quote that I can definitely relate to. So let's put Smoothie out here. And, whatever. Let's see if we can actually encounter something to capture, because we still haven't captured anything in here, so that might be something to consider. But for now, it's time to take on these guys. I know that I've lost something to these guys in the past. I can't remember what, but there was something. Now, I could use Sunny Day to, activate Chlorophyll, but there's really no point. Because I am going to get hit this round anyway, so might as well just use the Fly now. Not really that scary unless you have Sludge Bomb, but who knows? Maybe it does. Also not scary because Medicham is definitely not a special attacker. And it's definitely not a mixed attacker either. Gosh. I'm still not salty, but I still get like my panties in a twist whenever I remember the fact that Chugacondre has referred to Medicham as a mixed attacker, when it so absolutely isn't. Like, Medicham is like its attack stat, well, not its actual base stat, which I believe it has base 60 attack and special attack, which is insanely low. Like, I mean, there are a lot of Pokemon that has better. I think. Oh yeah, I actually did the putting on screen Pokemon that had better special attack, and I believe some of them were like, I don't know, Fearow and Machamp. So like, there's a lot of Pokemon that have more effective base stats in special attack, but its effective attack stat, which it's not 120, because you would believe that, because its ability Pure Power says that it doubles attack, which you would think, oh, it doubles its base stat from 60 to 120, putting it around, Honchkrow and Gallade and almost to the level of Garchomp, like that general level. Oh no, it is much greater than that. Believe me, because Pure Power does not double the base stat. Actually, what it does is it doubles the effective stat. So, for example, if I take a quick moment to show you here, for example, with Smoothie, it wouldn't double its space stat and attack. It would double the actual number you see up there. So, if Smoothie had Pure Power or Huge Power, it would have 130 attack, which would be more than, our Golem here. To give you, like, kind of an idea where it's at. And that makes, I think, effectively, Medicham has something like 170 attack, which, is more than Rampardos. Actually, I'm not sure if it has. I think it might have a little more than Rampardos. I don't actually remember, but it's at least in the top 5 best, well, not best, but strongest attackers in that generation, which says a lot. And then, when you compare that to its special attack, where, it could probably not even KO a Toxicroak if it used Psychic. Like, it would be questionable if it could actually one-hit KO that. Or, you know, I don't know, any other example, really. It does not have very good special attack, and it has absolutely monstrous attack. Like, if it used an attack that was resisted, it would still do more than a super effective special attack in pretty much all cases. So that is kind of the reason why I get my panties in a twist over that. Ooh. This double battle, I do remember, it's actually kind of scary, because there's a lot of good Pokemon here. Well, I mean, Pupitas is not exactly the best example of that. Well, actually, it is kind of a good example because it brings in Sandstorm, which, you know, slowly whittles away your Pokemon, and, you know, there has been a time where, you know, you don't really think about the fact that, oh shit, Sandstorm is out, which means that I effectively have, you know, only 15, well, I have 1/16 less HP than I actually do, because, you know, Sandstorm gets taken away every end of the turn. And there goes Lucario, which means that because of that Lobunion, because Lucario whiffed its quick attack 2 turns in a row, I'm effectively alone on the battlefield, 2 against 1, which is not a position you want to ever be in. I mean, that is kind of the reason, like, I frequently browse a certain site that talks a lot about Pokemon. I'm not superstitious or anything, I'm not mentioning it. I'm not mentioning it because of some kind of superstition, but I just don't feel like mentioning that particular site. But it had like a thread where it talked about the fact that actually Totem Pokemon are kind of more difficult than gyms, which I'm actually inclined to agree with, simply because of the fact that, well, for a lot of different reasons. But one of them being that, I mean, you're effectively fighting 2 against 1, which, you know, just that alone makes the battle a lot harder. Not that the Pokemon they call in are like super duper difficult, like it's usually, you know, a weaker version of that Pokemon, or, you know, assisting Pokemon or something like that. But it's still 2 against 1. And I remember, especially in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, that that frickin' Marowak, that like 9 times out of 10, it spends its first turn detecting, meaning that it's pretty much guaranteed to get its ally in there, which is a frickin' Salazzle, which was the totem Pokemon in Sun and Moon. So, like, you're effectively fighting 2 totem Pokemon, 2-on-1. But then you also have the fact that the totem Pokemon get, like, the aura around them, which aren't always the most helpful to the totem itself. Like, I think the first totem, Raticate and Gumshoos, get, if they get, +1 defense, which, at least in Raticate's case, it's not really that helpful because, you know, 1 Brick Break and it's dead pretty much. But then you have, for example, Lurantis getting +2 speed, effectively doubling its speed, which is really its only truly weak stat. That is pretty major. And then some of the later ones that, you know, just straight up just get a +1 on every stat. That is, yeah, pretty scary. And just for that reason, it makes the whole trial is a lot more harder than gym battles. Also for the fact too that well, I suppose the trials are type themed as well. So, and you know, I don't think there was ever a time where you couldn't predict what the type was going to be. But I still feel like it does a little bit. Excuse me. Okay, sorry about that. My throat just had like one of those, like, it just completely dried up, and it was like one of those times where like my voice just disappeared, and I was like, oh my god, what is happening? But you know, just drank some water. Hopefully it stays with me until the end of the episode. But yeah, I feel like actually one of the things that they did in Diamond and Pearl is something that I wish they kind of did in future games a little more, which is the fact that the gyms are for the most part type themed, but they also bring, well, in Diamond and Pearl, not in Platinum and Crystal. In Platinum, they sort of went back to the type theming. But they brought in a lot of like more like interesting, like they brought like Pokemon that didn't really fit the type. Like I think like Candace had like a Medicham, and Volkner had an Octillery. But I really liked that because it still fit them. Because, well, Medicham not so much, but at least Octillery was able to learn Charge Beam. And I feel like as long as they generally fit the theme of it, and it fit Volkner to have like an Octillery, since, you know, he lives right next to the friggin' ocean, so why wouldn't he have it? And that's kind of the same thing with Candace too, is like Medichams are all over the place around Snowpoint City, so like it makes perfect sense that she would have one since she freaking lives there. So I kind of want, well, not want, that is a little pushy, but I hope that they reintroduce the idea of not putting in, you know, just like straight up the type. That they kind of experiment with like a theme instead, like, you know, have a gym that is not just rock types or ground types, but have like a general like rock ground-ish type, or have it be like, oh, this gym uses like ancient Pokemon, like they use like the fossils and Golurk and Bronzong. Like they use like, they have a general theme that isn't strictly type themed. Like I feel like that would be a lot cooler. Also, Riley offered us an egg in our trying times, but we were not able to accept it because our party is full, which is something that I could really rant for a long time about. And actually, let's do that while I run back and deposit a Pokemon. Let's talk about that for a sec. The fact that I'm pretty sure there have been some NPCs that have told us straight up that Iron Island is very good for training. Like, I think they talk about that, you know, the gym leader comes here to train, and Riley talks about training here, and, you know, like, it's generally put up like the idea is put out there that, oh, this is like a good place to grind, pretty much. So then your thought is then, okay, well, that means I should take all the Pokemon that I have with me, because I wouldn't want one of them to just straight up lose, you know, any experience I might be getting. And that is, you know, the whole grinding thing is further reimbursed by the fact that, you know, you get a partner in Riley. So, like, just with how it was with I'm gonna say Gardenia, that's not Cheryl. With Cheryl, and if you, was exploring and was able to encounter Mira, you already know that these times where you get, like, a partner with you are, like, the best times to grind because, there's double battles, so you get, like, double the amount of experience, quote-unquote. And then, they heal you after every battle, so it is, like, excellent to grind. And then, at the end, the friggin' end of the cave, he's like, hey, do you want this egg? And obviously you're like, sure, I would love to have this egg you're offering. And then he fucking hits you with the, oh, but you don't have enough room in your party, better go back the entire way and dump somebody into the PC, you idiot. Obviously it doesn't put it like that, but it certainly feels that way. And then, you have to go all the way back, put somebody in the PC, and then go all the way out again. I mean, as you can tell from this, like, without cutting, without speed up, this took what, like, 2 minutes or something? So really, it's not, it's not the worst, but it's more of, like, the whole, like, come on, you could have, like, I pretty much explained why this whole scenario was set up to be kind of stupid, especially because, I mean, they've already shown in the Pokemon games that, they have the technology to send Pokemon back into the PC. Like, you don't have to actually, like, pick them up. You can just send them straight to the PC. Like, even in Pokemon Red and Blue, like, I recently actually played through Red and Blue. When I went to pick up the Lapras in Selfco, I was expecting to be hit with oh, you don't have enough room in your party. No, he just straight up sent it to my PC. So why then, 3 generations later, somebody hits you with the, oh, but you don't have enough room in your party. Like, what? Why? Like, why did it take them all the way to Generation 7 to make that a universal thing? That, when you catch a Pokemon, when you get an egg, when you get a gift Pokemon, whatever, you just straight up, like, it just goes into your box. Oh well. I was about to just go on autopilot and take on this gym, but I think I'm gonna save that for the next episode. So, I'm gonna be seeing you guys in the next time. Goodbye.